ओके चालू है ना, चालू है ना भाई, ठीक है। ओ तेरी यार, फिर से चला गया ये। ओके गाइस, सो टुडे is a special ride. It's gonna be a special ride today, because today I'm gonna go special ride, because today guys I'm going and I am taking my spaceship. Sorry, वेलकम टू Eh-Lien बोला या नहीं, ठीक है बोल दिया होगा पहले। बट देन टुडे गाइस आई एम गोना क्रॉस द US border on Canada Day. How about that? Isn't that a good trip? That is an amazing trip. And man, it's gonna be amazing, man. I'm looking forward to the trip. I just hope everything goes well. First time I'm taking my motorcycle across the border. They don't generally bother you, but you never know, right? You never know, right? Okay, so I wanted to start, or rather talk about a trend that I have seen on the internet lately, and that trend is mostly pertaining to people making why you should leave India immediately videos. हर कोई बना रहा है इंडिया छोड़ दो, बाहर अच्छा है, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग। सो एज आई वाज सेइंग भाई लोग, कि आजकल ना ये लीव इंडिया वाले वीडियोस बहुत आ रहे हैं। कुछ भी हो जाए, दो लोगों ने पाद मार दी तो लीव इंडिया बोल देंगे लोग, बट ये ठीक नहीं है भाई। I don't think it covers the complete picture of how one should go about with these things, because leaving India might be an option for some, but it is definitely not going to be an option for everybody, even if, let's say, you have the resources. The reason is that most people only cover the financial and the immigration paper related work. They don't cover the whole picture, which is a bit more complex and a bit more personal and requires a more in-depth thought into it. What a beautiful road, guys. What a beautiful road. Okay, so what I was saying was that, see, it's not as simple of a decision. You can't just say, look, I have X amount of cash and now I am ready to begin my process to move to the West, or my PR has been approved, or my H1 visa is approved, or any of those things. It's not really that easy. It's to assess whether the West will be spiritually and holistically beneficial for you. You can't say I'll just because there are, and I'm not saying there are not, there are many issues in India, there are many issues the world across. It's not But yes, materially and in general, wow, look at the house. So yeah, like this kind of a thing you do find in the West. You know, clean streets and all of that. You know, the material privileges are present in the West. There's no doubt about that. But is this thing, will this thing be something that will satisfy your soul, is what I'm trying to say. If you are, let's say, a dollar millionaire, a US dollar millionaire in India, and apart from a few things that are bothersome and cumbersome, you can actually live like a king. The infrastructure, what's the issue with India? It's the infrastructure and the thing that, you know, things don't really work as planned. There's the AQI issue, yes. There's the water issue, yes. Those things, I agree with that. But then you have to understand one thing. Spiritually, this may work for you for a year or two, I feel, if you're not really somebody who believes in individualism. आप अगर ऐसे आदमी नहीं हो कि जो अकेले मेहनत करके अपने आप को संभाल सके, and Canada is extremely independent. You have to take care of everything. You have to be emotionally a tank, basically, in order to do that, right? If you don't really have that in you to do this, to live this day in and day out, right? Sorry for that. Then it's going to be hell. Because the thing is that the clean air, the material benefits so and so, they only last you a certain way. Do they completely change? Do they completely massage? And do they completely, how do I say this? Do they completely satisfy your soul? If you don't have that bent of mind, if you don't follow the individual culture, and if you don't really like that individual culture, then this is going to be a bit of a problem. फिर ये आता है भाई आंख पे, बहुत आंख पे आएगा, ये गंदा बैक मारता है. लोग ऐसे होमसिक हो जाते हैं कि तुमको क्या बताऊं मैं, क्योंकि that shine and that all, you know, that thing, it doesn't last, man. It's, you know, after of some time those Facebook likes go away, everything goes away. Like it's because of social media and all that social media maya that people kind of you know, glorify this thing a little more, because they feel that by doing that they'll get more commissions or something like that, right? That's also an advantage. That's why you'll see so many guys who are making pro Canada videos or move out of India videos because it's their livelihood. उनका घर चलता है उससे. That doesn't mean he's not actually telling you the complete picture. May have worked for him as a person, it may not work for you spiritually. Yes, I mean, you have these roads and all of those things, the infrastructure and everything is there, but then here's the thing. Let's talk about motorcycle driving, right? If I am how do I say this, man? Let's say if I'm riding this motorcycle in India, perhaps I may not find the same AQI, but you bet that nowadays the infrastructure does exist where superbike ownership and superbike enjoyment is possible on a weekend. There are people who do that, and they are quite famous on YouTube, who just roam around in India on their motorcycles. Now, you might say that अरे भाई लेकिन लोगों में ट्रैफिक सेंस नहीं है, या फिर कहीं से भी कोई भी आ जाएगा. Yeah, that is the minor inconvenience. I feel that that's a minor inconvenience, because see, if that thing can happen anywhere, that thing can happen in Canada as well. Like this thing, despite all the rules, despite all the safety measures that the government has taken, and the tremendous amount of civic sense that does exist among the Canadian people, things happen. Shit happens. It may not, the probability is not going to be as high, but I feel that if you are somebody who's doing well in India, if you are somebody who's already well settled in India, and even if, let's say, you're a student on the rise up, but you have a fantastic family life, and you know everything just works for you well there, you like the system, apart from these two things which can be managed, uprooting your life, uprooting your social circle, for most Indians, I'm saying, it's going to be a bit more difficult, because you have lived in that, and including me as well. But then you have to understand, I have some other, I'm a weird case, I'm a nomad, but for 94% of the people, most people have lived in that social cohesive environment, and you know, grown up in the same city, they know the same people, their systems, their souls have now been wired. I'm not saying that it's not worth it to completely rewire your soul. Yes, that can be done for certain cases where you just don't have any fiscal relief, extremely high level of fiscal relief, and you just don't have any spiritual relief also. Sometimes, you know, people just don't have a happening scene in India at all. They may have issues with parents, with wives, or something or the other, right? And they want to escape a toxic thing, and you know, that's fine. In that case, you could make an argument, but immigration, I feel, should be the extremely last resort. And I'll tell you something, the Leave India movement that has extremely, I would say, taken off in the last few years, they have conveniently omitted the soul. They have conveniently omitted the fact that this is probably, it's like your marriage, it's actually that kind of thing. You're gonna have to, the way you're gonna have to live with your wife, the same way you're gonna have to live in the nation. And something that a lot of people don't know is that people who have immigrated in a half-baked manner, meaning people who have immigrated only for things such as good infrastructure, clean air, and things like, I guess, the dollar exchange rate, maybe, they have had tremendous assimilation issues. They have, after a few years, they start abusing the West. After a few years, they will start saying, oh, you know, but India mein ye tha, and India mein wo tha, and all of you know, things such as that. But then you're not, and the reason why you're in the predicament is that you never really looked at it from a life perspective. You've just sort of gotten attracted to the shine of the West and shine of these few videos and people, you know, I guess, posting vacation pics and going to Rome, and you know, what's it called, the Banff, and you know, so on and so forth. People who've done that, But what they don't realize is that if you, that person's life you don't really know. Maybe he is a typical Instagram narcissist. He is somebody who gets joy out of flaunting his very temporary thing so that he can get a hit, he can get a like, he can, maybe he's also a consultant, right? A lot of them, they do that. Or sometimes I guess certain cultures, certain Indian cultures, they just like to show off. I'm not gonna say which, but certain do that, right? And we all know who they are. But in that limited decision making process, in that unorganic decision making process, you get what's known as an unideal immigrant. You get people that are going to be extremely critical of the West. They don't care then. They will just go on and on as to, oh God, look how bad the West is, and my God, this is like the worst thing that has happened to me. And the sheen wears off because you treated the West like a hot girlfriend and not a healthy marriage, not like a wife. You're going there for a wife, man. Just because the wife appears to be hot doesn't mean she's the right one for you. I know it's going to be tough, but then that's what this is. Sometimes a wife like India, who currently maybe not so good looking cosmetically, so on and so forth, and she has her own issues, but then she's going to be perfect for you because she'll be the one who will take care of you, who will give you the ease of life. I'm not saying AQI and things of that nature, they are not big issues. Yes, they are. They do hamper your health. But I would say you can treat that as a trade-off. There are ways around it as well now, with oxygen bars popping up and all. I'm not at all condoning the AQI situation. I'm not saying that it's okay, but then certain things are not okay in the West as well, which you may not find conducive. So if, let's say, India already for you is a nice spiritual fit, and India for you is currently giving you a sense of peace and a sense of ease and a sense of certainty, then please stay there. As far as careers go, the careerism is dead. The kind of opportunities you have in the West, the same opportunities you have in India right now. It's all gone. It's an equal thing now because of AI and everything. They'd rather have more jobs in India than jobs in the West, because hiring somebody in the West costs a lot more money than hiring somebody in the East. Right? I can have a whole team set up in the subcontinent with the same resource, same quality of the resource, man. Probably even more hardworking, because people are a lot more aware, a lot more refined now. They know exactly, they're really updated, the young generation, and basically everybody knows what's up now. So in this, is this on? Okay, I think it's on. So in this predicament, in this situation, you have to be very careful. You have to be very self-aware. थोड़ा सा अपने अंदर झाँको, अंदर सोचो, क्या ये शाइन की ज़िंदगी मेरा पीस ऑफ माइंड तो नहीं रहेगी? AQI फेक्यूआई लोग वगैरह उस आदमी का उसका होगा भाई। अपन ऐसे काय को करेंगे? अपन गाय को अपनी ज़िंदगी झंड कर लेने का। अब आप बोलोगे भाई तुम तो हो यहाँ पे, मैं तो हूँ यहाँ पे, लेकिन मेरा सिचुएशन अलग है भाई। वो मेरा पर्सनल है, उसके बारे में अगर लगा तो बाद में बात करूँगा मैं। लेकिन क्या है ना कि मेरे लिए ठीक था ये, लेकिन मैं कभी नहीं बोला किसी को कि आ जाओ। मैं नहीं बनाता वीडियो कि आ जाओ वेस्ट, आ जाओ, देखो वेस्ट में सब कितना ये है वे है, वैसे ठीक है, थोड़े बहुत है चीज़ें यहाँ पे, उसमें कोई ये नहीं है, लेकिन इतना भी नहीं है भाई, इतना भी नहीं है कि आप अपना सुकून बहनचोद दे दो पूरा, ओ सॉरी बहन चोर दे दो, बहन चोर, आई कॉल इट BC. You can't sacrifice this much for a move, just a move. Not worth it, buddy. Not worth it, especially now with all things and the increase in racism and the decrease in jobs and AI and everything. This thing is becoming a pressure cooker day by day. Nobody knows what the future is going to be. Nobody knows who's going to be where with World War III and all. It's crazy, guys. It's literally crazy, man. Like, and I am, you could say, a proud Canadian, but then at the same time I'm an ex-Indian, so I know that I have to make sure that I give you the correct guidance or correct thoughts. I don't think it's guidance, but then the correct thoughts have to be there. You shouldn't wake up one day, जैसे बोलते ना कि यार सुहाग रात हो गई, अब बोर हो रहा है, लड़की तो दिखने में हॉट है लेकिन बहुत बोर निकली यार, दिल में नहीं उतरी भाई लड़की, है ना, हनीमून पीरियड हो गया भाई, अब क्या करूं, अब तो ये काम नहीं कर रहा मेरे लिए भाई, अब इसके टंटे अलग है, ये कौन, इसको ज़िंदगी भर मेरे साथ तो फिट ही नहीं था इसका, मेरी पहले की अच्छी थी यार बीवी नंबर 1, या फिर जुदाई पिक्चर देखना, नहीं जुदाई नहीं, बीवी नंबर 1 देखना, बीवी नंबर 1 पिक्चर की तरह है ये, करिश्मा कपूर इंडिया है और स्मिता सेन वेस्ट है, काफ़ी लोगों के लिए, बहुत लोगों के लिए नहीं शायद, कुछ लोगों के लिए वो स्पिरिचुअली जम जाए उनको, लेकिन कुछ लोगों को, काफ़ी सारे लोगों को नहीं जमता, काफ़ी सारे लोग साले शाइन मारने के लिए आते हैं हरामखोर, और नाम भी ख़राब करते हैं, और मतलब पूरी तरह से मतलब दे आर कम्प्लीटली न्यूसेंस होते हैं लोग, नए पैसे वाले जो है अपने भाई लोग, कंप्लीट न्यूसेंस। तो बस यही भाई, थोड़ा समझो भाई, थोड़ा समझो, थोड़ा ध्यान करो, थोड़ा अपने आप के अंदर झांको और अपने आप से पूछो भाई सही में क्या ये वर्थ इट है, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि मेरे इस, क्या कहते हैं उसे, इस फैड के चक्कर में कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ें तो नहीं हो जाए। ठीक है यार, 2 रोटी कम खा लेना, लेकिन तुम ऐसे जगह पे जाओगे ना जहाँ पे तुम राजा हो, तुम एथनिकली मेजॉरिटी हो, 2-3 चीज़ें, इतना भी नहीं होता सबका, ये गलत धारणा है भाई, इतना भी नहीं होता भाई, इतना ये मेंटालिटी ख़राब है ये कि सब जा रहे बाहर, सब जा रहे बाहर, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है। सॉफ्ट पावर बढ़ रही है, ठीक है सॉफ्ट पावर बढ़ रही है भाई, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है, सबके लिए नहीं है यार, ये सबके लिए नहीं है दोस्त। और मेरे ख्याल से ना एक मुहिम ये भी चालू होनी चाहिए, लीव इंडिया का एक ही जगह, डोंट लीव इंडिया, इसमें जेंजी वगैरह लोग ज़्यादा है लीव इंडिया वाले, लेकिन एक बार जब रट्टा पड़ता है ना वेस्ट का, तब आपकी नानी याद आ जाती है, भारत माँ याद आ जाती है, ऐसे लोगों को देखा है मैंने, शाइन शो में आए थे और सारे शो करके रह गए, फिर कुछ नहीं हो पाया उनका, फंडामेंटल क्लियर थे नहीं उनको, उनसे नहीं हो पाया ये, उनसे झेल नहीं सका ये करने आएंगे जी, वो करने आएंगे जी, उखाड़ देंगे जी, ये कर देंगे जी, वो कर देंगे, कुछ नहीं हुआ। जब वो स्लो ग्राइंड और जो वेस्ट की तन्हाई, लोनलीनेस नहीं होता, अलोननेस बोलते हैं उसको, इट्स नॉट लोनलीनेस, इट्स नॉट वेस्टर्न लोनलीनेस, इट्स कॉल्ड अलोननेस। इंडिविजुअल हो तो निकल जाएगी, इंडिविजुअल नहीं हो, तुम्हारे नियत में खोट है, तो फिर वो बन जाएगी लोनलीनेस। सब खुद से काम करना वगैरह ये सब जो है ना, ये थोड़ा स्पिरिचुअली अंडरस्टैंडिंग चाहिए इन चीज़ों की, नहीं तो फिर लाले तुम्हारे वांदे हैं बहुत बड़े। सो थोड़ा देखो भाई, प्लीज़ अपना मौल्यवान जीवन बर्बाद मत करो, जैसा है वैसा चलने देना चाहिए। कभी कभी चलती गाड़ी से नहीं उतरना चाहिए, एक कहावत है, एंड दैट होल्ड्स वेरी वेरी ट्रू हियर भाई। भाई आ गया नाइग्रा, नाइग्रा नाइग्रा नाइग्रा, ये नाइग्रा पुल। जागे जागे अरमा है, जागे जागे हम हो, जागे जागे अरमा है, जागे जागे हम। वाह।